If you haven't heard of low rolling resistance tires yet, you will. They're touted as a way to save on fuel or increase range if you own an electric vehicle. But do they actually work, or is this just a clever marketing gimmick? Well, let's look at that question in more detail in this video as we talk tires. If you're shocked by the price of fuel in 2022, thanks in part to the war in Ukraine, and you've determined that low rolling resistance tires are the answer to your fuel economy woes, I'm afraid that the answer is not as black and white as we'd all like it to be. In other words, you can't cut fuel costs simply by installing low rolling resistance tires. Why? Well, let me give you 4 reasons why low rolling resistance tires may not be the quick solution that you're looking for. Number 1, you may not see immediate results. According to the VP of sales for a major tire importer, some consumers have seen their fuel economy get worse after installing low rolling resistance tires. He explained why in an article I wrote for Tire News magazine in 2021. Here's what he said. You have to calculate fuel economy over the life of the tire. You might have bald tires, which you switch out for a set of brand new low rolling resistance tires. When you put the new tires on, you're probably going to see a decrease in fuel economy. That's because you replaced a tire with almost no tread left on it, which had no grip, no friction, with a tire that actually has grip. So remember what he said at the outset, you have to calculate fuel economy over the life of the tire. So it's not a matter of buying low rolling resistance tires and then seeing a net gain in fuel economy the next time you fill up. This is more of a long-term strategy. Now, the biggest market for low rolling resistance tires is in the commercial long-haul segment. And in that same Tire News article, this executive explained that a 10% reduction in rolling resistance translates into about a 1% gain in fuel economy for those really big trucks. And that's a huge deal when you've got trucks that travel tens of thousands of miles a month from Toronto to Los Angeles, for example, and then back again, maybe doing that over and over again. But then that same executive explained that when you look at the average consumer who drives maybe 20 to 25,000 kilometers a year, that 1% savings suddenly doesn't look as impressive. Now, one tire manufacturer estimates that their low rolling resistance tires will allow you to drive an extra 20 miles or 32 kilometers per tank of gas, but they don't say how big that tank is, what kind of car they're referring to, or what speeds they're driving that car. So I don't know if you can take that to the bank and assume that you will get an extra 20 miles per tank just by switching over to low rolling resistance tires. Number 2, you're making a compromise. One of the engineers I interviewed for that article explained that every tire is a compromise. That's just part of the engineering process, including low rolling resistance tires. He explained that tires have to offer grip, comfort, a long tread life, handling, braking ability, low noise, and now we're adding low rolling resistance to the mix. So if you gain in one area, you have to lose in another. For example, a tire that offers great grip may have to give up tread life, or a tire that offers fabulous handling may not be as comfortable to ride on. So before you commit to a low rolling resistance tire, ask your tire dealer, what are you compromising? What are you giving up in order to lower rolling resistance? Now, this particular engineer explained that you might be giving up some grip or traction. Are you okay with that? Now, it's a personal decision, but one you should ask your tire retailer about and then figure out if that's okay with you. Number 3, it can be difficult to understand what you're buying. One of the tire retailers I interviewed for that article said that low rolling resistance tires are black magic. Now, those are his words, not mine, because there's no easy way to compare one low rolling resistance tire with another. It's all kind of mysterious. While it's true that commercial tires have what's called a smart weight program, which measures the low rolling resistance of tires for those big trucks, when it comes to passenger vehicle tires, we're not quite there yet. At least not here in North America. In Europe, it's a different story. But here in Canada and the States, there's no published data yet that can help us out when we're shopping for these tires. So if you're thinking of buying low rolling resistance tires, keep in mind that there's There's no way for you to actually compare one tire from one manufacturer with a tire from another manufacturer and then figure out, well, I'm getting X amount of improvement with this tire and Y amount of improvement with this tire, so I think I'm going to go and buy this one. You also can't tell that a tire falls into the low rolling resistance category by simply looking at it. Unlike winter tires that have that three-peak mountain snowflake logo on the sidewall that tells you they're designed for winter driving, there's nothing on the sidewall of a low rolling resistance tire. An LRR logo, that would be nice, but it just doesn't exist. Instead, you'll have to ask your tire retailer or do some research online to find out which tires do and which tires don't qualify. And number 4, it's not the quick solution you might be looking for. One of the engineers I interviewed explained that you can't simply buy low rolling resistance tires and expect a miracle. You still have to look after your tires. He said you're going to lose the benefits of those tires if you don't maintain proper air pressure, keep them aligned, and rotate them. So any gains you might gain from the fact that the tires are low rolling resistance tires could be lost because you don't check your tire pressure regularly. You don't balance and align them, and you don't rotate them. So there's still a lot of work involved. Now, just in case you've gotten this far in the video and you're not sure what we're talking about when we say low rolling resistance, let me explain. A low rolling resistance tire is simply a tire that's easier to roll down the road with as little energy input from the vehicle as possible. This means you're using less fuel to keep your car moving, or if you drive an electric car, you're improving your range because you're not using as much electricity to keep that vehicle in motion. And because we're seeing an explosion in electric vehicles and hybrids, you can expect this tire segment to expand as a growing number of tire manufacturers jump on the low rolling resistance bandwagon. So the bottom line, are low rolling resistance tires worth it? Well, the answer is they can be. There is a definite advantage, especially when fuel prices are this high, or if you drive an electric car where range is a real concern. But don't expect low rolling resistance tires to do miracles. According to the experts, you may not see the instant results you're hoping for. You may have to compromise on grip and traction, and you're going to have to put in the work to maintain your tires in order to see the benefits. Now, if you're looking for other ways to boost fuel economy, I have another video here. And if you'd like to see what the experts say about tire pressure and fuel economy, please have a look at the video here. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time we talk tires.